Hello,
Baske?
what's up, CK?
Tires, Baske.
Yes,
They aren't just round and black, right? They decide on how you ride, how it matters to you or how it feels to you.
yeah, that is the connection between the rider, the motorcycle, and the road. I would say it is one of the most important, if not the most important item in list of priorities of getting it right. It's like salt and spice in food.
Mm.
Some like it one way, some like it the other way. There is no wrong. It is completely a personal choice and preference. What is a best tire? I don't think that question itself is a right question to ask. The best tire. What works for you 100% may work 80% for me. What works 50% for me may work 80% for you. So it is massively variable, subject to individuals' preference, confidence levels. We can see in motorsport, in MotoGP. By the way, Mark won at
Finally,
in enemy territory.
finally.
In Italy, in enemy territory, after 10 years, he won at Mugello. So we see there, it was a lot of it was about the tire. Some riders could handle a worn tire, some couldn't handle a worn tire, some used a soft, some used a medium. At that level, there are still personal choices. They pick what works best for them. And people with different tires and different strategies end up fighting. So there is no the tire, the choice. It's more about what works for you. When the question is asked, which is the best tire? When I'm asked, I say, I don't know which is the best. I find this tire most suited for me. So keep that in mind. What is the first thing that a rider should do before choosing a tire?
I think first and foremost, it depends on the rider's psyche. Is he more into touring?
Purpose.
Yeah,
Purpose. Define the purpose. What do you want the tire for?
yeah. So, is he more into touring, traveling? Is he more into trail riding? Is he more into circuits? Doing those races kind of stuff. So, I think that should be the major deciding factor in what pattern of tires that
Yeah.
he should go in for. And obviously, yes, it's also the motorcycle. It doesn't look great if you fit a speed 400 with those knobby tires.
However, if I'm going to take this on a very, very slushy road, it's like I'm taking it for one particular assignment. It's okay to fit knobby tires. So the purpose is most important. The rider's purpose of use. Once that is defined, the next is the pattern. Broadly, we could put it into three categories. Uh, Street, like this trace rad is. This is
Yeah.
a street tire. Street means road, highway. It's a mix of that. Or the other extreme we can go to is big block patterns, which is more for where there is no tarmac.
Off-roading.
Yeah, off-roading can be mud, sand, slush, anything, rocks, whatever it is. And then we have the hybrid, which is a combination of both. Like what we find on our adventure tours today, the KTM has got that a blocky pattern. The Himalayan also has got sort of a block pattern. So these are the three broad categories in the street use we would put. Competition tires are quite different. This is the street, I would say. The tour R, I would say, is a hybrid. The trail R is what I would say is at the other end of the spectrum. Once the purpose is defined and the tire is selected, there should also be some acceptance that a certain tire will perform very well in a certain terrain and not so great in another terrain. Taking this to a slush patch and complaining about the tire, not so great.
Foolhardiness.
So it performs great on the street, on the road, and even in some wet conditions because it's got some grooves like that which kind of push the water out. So the expectations also have to be set. If I'm going to be riding 10% off road, 90% on tarmac, I would pick something like this and manage that 10%, knowing fully well this tire will deliver only a certain level of performance in the slush.
Yeah, it's okay to forego that comfort for the 10%. Yeah, compared to that 90% where I'll be spending majority of the time having fun.
Yeah. Or the other way around. That 10 kilometers is massively important for me because I am going for that. That is my purpose. So for the remaining, for the 90 kilometers, I will manage, knowing fully well that tire is not the best for that 90-kilometer terrain. So I keep my expectations in check and ride accordingly, get to that terrain where I have planned for, and then have fun there. So purpose, awareness, and setting the expectation right is very important. I have heard of people complaining that there is a bit of noise, there's a bit of wobble on a tire. They are not very happy. When I ask them what tire they use, they say they use that block pattern. Okay.
It's a bit noisy.
It is a bit noisy because the blocks tend to make noise. The tires with those block patterns make a lot of tire noise. These tires don't make much noise. The noise is caused by friction and the movement of the tire compound against the tarmac.
And also living with the tire, Bosky. And I think it has to be carefully
Yeah,
gone through.
it has to be maintained. And what is the single and only thing a rider needs to do? Maintain the right tire pressure.
Yeah, that's the biggest that you can do.
Most of the tire pressure, there's a sticker on the swing arm, tire pressure. Some of them may say singles or doubles. That variation is there. However, tire pressure, unfortunately, is the most ignored aspect.
Huh.
And cold tire pressure, that is most important. I had a TPMS on my Tiger long back. I used to set it at 40 psi was the recommended tire pressure, and it used to, as I ride on a highway, it used to go up to 43, 44 on a very hot day. Don't go reduce it to 40 again, right? It is cold tire pressure which can accommodate that buildup of for extra psi. It's not going to drastically change the profile or the contact patch or the grip. So no need to double guess, second guess, and that thing of reducing the tire pressure in some tough terrains is it's a practice which some really harp about. It is okay, but I think unnecessarily complicating a simple situation.
Yeah, from my experience, I've never reduced air because okay, I'm being a bit insensitive because I don't know. It doesn't make that much of a difference. I can't measure the difference. So I'm like, okay with it. I just got it. Have fun with it. As simple as that.
So reducing the tire pressure, yes, on bad, very lot of mud and slush that can give some traction. There is a risk. Once the pressure is reduced, in the event of an impact with a rock or a stone or a sharp edge, it can damage the wheel rim because the tire will collapse very easily. So I don't make too much of it, just like him. I don't know what you do or how you want to go about it. I think it's a personal choice. I have not dabbled with tire pressures according to terrain. It is too much. I am not that sensitive to realize I'm not in a competition.
Yeah.
I'm not competing with anybody. I just want to enjoy my ride in the simplest possible way. So I keep, that is why cold tire pressure, maintain, let everything else work accordingly. So, and the second one a rider should do is inspect the tire occasionally. Just go through for any cuts, damage, or cracks on the wall. Very important because it's a safety issue.
I would look at it more from a safety and then even the pattern in how it
Wears.
the tire wears. I think that is also quite critical. I do the check possibly once a month when I'm washing the motorcycle. I observe
A
it
clean tire, right?
Yes.
You need a clean tire to
Need
see.
a clean tire to see that. So that's something that I do, and they blasted well.
Yeah, some bulges or some cracks. A front tire, which is sort of type of a button, when not maintained very precisely with tire pressures, the blocks tend to wear out unevenly. Very few tires wear out unevenly when maintained properly in terms of tire pressure. Most of them wear out because of low tire pressure. High tire pressure is normally not the problem. The problem is low tire pressure because we don't maintain. We let it be. And that is when we'll find it wearing out this way. So it's a characteristic on the front because the front has got not only a motion this way, Not just this way, it's got this way motion also. So this undergoes a lot more infinite angle and direction changes in comparison to the rear tire.
Yeah.
Next is compound and construction. Simple logic: softer the compound, logically the grip is going to be more, and consequently the wear is going to be faster.
Yeah.
So harder the compound, life is more, grip also could be a little less. So, and construction, radial and bias. It is not that radial is superior to bias ply. Again, it comes to the purpose. Motorcycles with those motocross tires, the off-road capable, more, they're all bias ply because of the way the sidewall is built. There is a certain amount of flexibility required and strength is required on the sidewall. I would not confuse myself with radial and bias ply. If the OEM has fit a radial on it, I would stick to a radial as long as the purpose of the motorcycle remains the same. Like, I'm not going to go do motocross with this motorcycle. This comes with a radial. I would stick to radial tires.
Yeah, I mean, like, why would you want to second guess a manufacturer? You spent in some efforts to put in. Yeah.
The KLX comes with a bias ply.
Yes.
I would stick with a bias ply. Unless we are professionals entering into certain type of motorcycling events, activity, competition, just stick to manufacturer. And there's one more thing very important to stick to manufacturer recommendations. What is that, CK?
You got me stumped.
Size and profile.
Yes. The most important thing.
See, he can't even think of it because he doesn't second guess.
Yeah, I think, I've never, put in bigger size tires.
Yeah.
I just went one size
smaller.
less on my X Pulse. But outside that, no, not at all.
Some people have the habit of changing the rear tire to a two section wider. It's quite popular on the 650 twins. From 130, they'll stick in a 150 because it looks good. Yeah, it gives it a nice and stout look. It can make the motorcycle sluggish.
It will.
The handling becomes sluggish. It's a compromise. Would I want to would looks take precedence over handling? Not on my motorcycles. Not at all on my motorcycle.
And Busky, I believe if you put an oversized tire, it wears out faster because you're not making full use of
It will turn square faster.
Yes, exactly, right? Because you won't be able to take the corners the way it would be.
Yeah.
So you tend to square it off much earlier than a regular size tire or the company recommended tire.
I would stick to company sizes, company profiles. I would not change anything, especially the front. This has a dramatic change in the handling of the motorcycle. There is a weight balance. Can we improve on a manufacturer? Yes. Again, it comes to a niche purpose. I'm going to take it to a specific purpose, then I can change it to how I want it. Otherwise, stick to the same size, stick to the same profile. Yes, sometimes there's a concern of availability. There is no 130 70 18 is not there. Can I go for a 130 60 18? If there is absolutely no choice, no option, okay, maybe that one size profile lower or higher is okay, not recommended. It is all right. It's all right. That can make a difference in the balance of the motorcycle. All it takes is just a half an inch down this way, few kilos will move to the front tire. The same way, a big fat tire on the rear can make the rear heavy. It's not just the handling, the suspension stops working properly. It's a whole lot of complications.
I think the safety concerns around the ABS as well, if you put a higher profile tire.
Yeah, there is a little bit of calibration accommodation the ABS sensor can do. This ring here, ABS ring, this has got a certain number of slots. It measures the movement. So for one rotation of this, the rear will rotate probably a little less because the front is, the profile is, if it's on the same size. With the 21 and 18, the front is going to rotate less than the rear. The ABS is calibrated accordingly. Changing the dia of the wheel is not really recommended. No. It's been done. I have done it. However, the consequences, the ABS may get confused and may malfunction. So, as far as possible, for regular use, when I say regular, it can be commuting to work, to buy vegetables, to go buy milk, to drop children at school, or even go to the mountains, regular mountains, regular road, just stick to the stock tire. Yes, Ladakh, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, this may not be the best one, but it is still possible to do.
Yeah.
Being aware that this is the tire I have, so I plan accordingly.
Yes.
Otherwise, hybrid tires are good enough for the trip. Come back, swap them, put something like this, use for your daily commute. What else, CK?
I think that should be a good one. Did we miss out any topics?
If you think we missed out on covering something, please let us know in the comments, and we will do our best to answer if possible in the comment section, or we can also do a part 2 if there is so much that we have missed. I think we could have missed a few things from our experience of what we are being asked. We have shared what we know. So maintain manufacturer recommended tire pressure. Do not try to second guess. Do not check hot tire pressure. It is cold. Just when your ride has started, check that. Inspect the tire regularly, once in a week, or worst comes to worst, once in 2 weeks. Just take a visual look. You may not spot everything, but at least you'll spot something if there is. Do not change tire profiles or the diameter. Stick to manufacturer. You may change the pattern based on your usage. Slick, I mean city, street, hybrid, or more off-road. These are the 3 broad categories. Yes, of course, there are racing slicks and there are knobbies on the other end of the spectrum. Some tires do well in the rain, some don't do well in the rain. So maybe if you're in a place where it rains a lot, you have to choose tires accordingly. Too many variables for anyone to say this is the best tire. That statement I will only make when I say this is the best tire for me for what I am going to do. So these 2 conditions will be attached to my statement.
Yes.
Choose your tires wisely. Enjoy a safe ride.
Cheers, Bhaskar. That was a good one.
Okay, thank you.